Okay, here we are, Dougie Fisher, with your official, what is it, the Ring Magazine
The throwback shirt.
T-shirt.
Vintage, huh?
It looks nice.
You know who this is?
I'll tell you.
Coach would know.
I have no idea.
Coach might know. Is that Stanley Ketchel?
Nah, it looks like a 20s era fighter. 20s, 30s era. Maybe Petey Saron, the featherweight that Henry Armstrong beat for the featherweight title.
But Dougie, you have a very professional mouthpiece.
You like it?
Yeah, with polka dots.
I mean, we're like, I feel so inferior right now.
The Senate
You guys
just
look like terrorists, but you look like with the black ones.
Look at you. I mean, that is really.
Thank you.
Is
To
that
give-
custom made?
Yes.
to give the update. So the Santa Monica track is still closed. So Kevin Costner let us use his backyard again. So we just want to thank him.
Shout out to Kevin.
Appreciate that.
Hey, did Kevin Costner ever win an Academy Award for acting? Like supporting actor or best actor?
You'd have to think so. Maybe
I know some of his films.
Dances
man,
with Wolves.
That was Best Picture, right?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, you know, I'm not. You know who would know? Our friend Mambo Chicken would know.
Larry would know.
Larry would know. Kevin Costner won a. Or we should just ask
You know
him.
what? He deserves an Academy Award.
Oh, Larry
Some
said
kind of
no.
award for-
Larry said he never won for Best Actor.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's a travesty. We've never been so outraged.
But we appreciate his.
Well, we're gonna give him an award. Though.
Appreciate
What's his
him.
greatest
Letting us
movie?
use this.
Hey, Larry, what's his?
Larry, what do you think his greatest movie is? I would say Dances with Wolves. That was
Yeah,
pretty good.
Dances with Wolves.
I
really
would
like
say Tin Cup.
Tin Cup.
I love
That was a
Tin
good
Cup.
comedy.
That was a great. Well, not
So
really.
Tony Tolge is complimenting your shirt,
Thank
Dougie.
you, Tony.
So also, Dougie.
Thanks for joining us, Tony.
This program is honoring Dougie's 50th birthday.
That's right. We got to start out
Which is this coming Wednesday.
Can you believe that?
50.
The big 5-0.
50.
Yeah,
Dougie
today-
Fisher.
Today, the 17th, is Sugar Ray Leonard's 64th birthday.
Wow.
Happy birthday, Sugar Ray.
And so Dougie's going to be 50. Okay? So let me ask you this, Tom.
Okay.
Dougie's 50.
Okay. He's a couple years ahead of me.
How old is his dad?
His dad?
Yeah.
Oh, I know the answer to that. Should I say it or?
Yeah.
Oh, apparently it's Lou DeBella's birthday today.
Yes,
also,
it is.
he turned 60
There's a
today.
lot of-
So he's got-
Born in May. A lot of boxing clubs.
So he's got 10 years on you.
He does. Happy birthday, Lou.
So Doug's father would be 69 today.
Exactly. And how old is his mother?
Mother, 68.
70.
70. Okay.
71.
All right.
Dougie's dad was 19 when he was born. Dougie was actually raised by the wolves. It's like there were like 3 boys. When his dad was 23 years old, he had 3 boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And him and his mom were getting their doctorates at Ohio State.
Yeah.
And so what they would do in the morning is just send the 3 boys for a walk, come back, and see
That's
ya.
how it was. That's how
Yeah,
everybody
that's the
was.
best. Yeah.
Yeah, well, in the summers, yeah. We
Yes.
just outside all day.
So
We only come back for lunch and for dinner.
So I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
So you were born in 1970.
Yes.
Okay, what day of the week were you born on?
Oh, gosh. I don't know.
That's a good
I think
question.
it was a Sunday.
Wednesday.
It was Wednesday?
Yeah.
Oh, look, Coach looked
Okay,
it up.
And who else? Who else's birthday is on the 20th of?
Famous. This is like
Not
famous,
the same year. Yeah, famous.
famous May 20th.
Yeah.
Oh. Gosh, I don't know. Can't think of it.
Cher.
Really? Cher's May? Oh, I think I knew that. Yeah.
Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cocker. Jimmy Stewart
Yeah, I
Nice.
knew that. Yeah.
and
That
Busta
makes sense.
Rhymes.
That's
Busta
all
Rhymes,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
that's right.
Okay. Okay. So in 1970 you were born.
Yes.
Okay. Who won the Super Bowl?
In 1970, gosh,
He can't tell you Super Bowl, but he could tell you who the heavyweight champion was.
I could
I know,
tell
I
you
got
in
that.
1970.
I got that.
No, I have no idea. Who won the Super Bowl?
Kansas City.
Kansas City, huh?
Kansas City Chiefs.
And who won the NBA title?
Was it the Lakers?
The Knicks.
The Knicks.
That's
And
one
who
of
won the World Series?
You're throwing Doug curveballs now.
Reds?
Okay,
Cincinnati
that's all fair.
Reds?
Just,
No.
I want you to know this stuff, though. The Orioles.
The
Orioles,
Orioles.
okay.
And who won the basketball NCAA championship?
The March Madness.
In 1970.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, they won 10 out of 12 years.
Oh, okay, UCLA.
Yeah.
And who was the coach at UCLA?
That
Bruins.
would be John Wooden.
That's
Okay,
right.
there you go.
Okay, who won Wimbledon? Men's. From Australia. The finals were 2 Australians.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
John Newcomb. Does
Okay.
that sound familiar?
No.
And the woman's Margaret Court.
No.
Okay, who was president?
In 1970, that would be Richard Nixon.
Got it. Who was vice president?
Is that Spiro Agnew?
You got it.
Agnew. I actually would have gotten that
A
too.
lot of
That's
folks
good.
wouldn't get Spiro Agnew.
That's good. So Doug knows politics and boxing.
There you go.
Okay,
That's what the
how
president did.
much was a gallon of gas?
Jeez, a gallon of gas.
I'll take a guess also.
Go for it.
You want me to go first?
Yeah,
I'm going to say 25 cents.
definitely. I'm going to say 50 cents.
36 cents.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, so
what
right
was
in the middle.
average
Right in the middle.
cost of a house in LA in 1970? Now it's about 2 million, about $1.5 million or
In
something.
1970,
Yeah, in 1970.
6,500.
I'm going to say 30,000.
23.6.
More than
And
6,500.
how, okay, right now there's about 6 million people in the city of LA.
Yeah.
Well, but in the whole community there's about 11 million.
Right.
In the county?
What was the population in 70?
The population.
For the city?
Just the city of LA.
If it's 6 million now, what would you say, Doug?
I'm gonna say 2 million.
I say less than that, 1.8.
2.8.
Oh, Doug got it. Nice. Okay.
Okay.
Still a congested.
So on May 20th, what time was the sunrise?
May 20th.
Yeah, it's a big day.
6:32 a.m.
That's close.
Is it?
What do you say?
I'd say a little bit later. No, a little bit. 6:25.
6:13. Dougie Fisher was born on the 20th.
Nice.
Okay, who won the Indianapolis 500?
Oh, I have no idea.
That would be.
Big name.
I'm gonna
Really?
take a guess. Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Close. Al Unser.
Oh, Al Unser.
That's a whole other family. Okay, so I'm going to ask you this: what won the Academy Award for the Best Picture in '70?
Oh, that's a good question. So this is it's before The Godfather. Before. Let's see. 70 Academy Award.
Sort of a
Best
cult
Picture.
movie.
Give me the genre of the movie. Like, was it a western? Was it a love story?
Well, it had a Western title, but it really wasn't. But it was like I can't even remember who was in it. But and I don't even know if I ever saw it. Midnight Cowboy.
Oh, Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah, which is a good movie.
Yeah, that is a cult classic.
Okay, so who?
That
won?
won Best Picture for real?
Yeah. Who won for Best Actor? And there's an airport named after him.
John Wayne.
John Wayne.
You got it. Okay. So what was the most popular song in 1970? Two guys sang it together.
Yeah, you got to give him a little bit of a hint.
Was it Seals and Croft?
No.
Was it two guys? Was it Simon and Garfunkel?
Yeah.
Simon Garfunkel, nice.
That's good.
Um,
You know the song. For
well,
sure you know the song. It still was great.
Is it Mrs. Robinson?
No, but
Is it Bridge Over Troubled Water?
you got it.
Thanks.
Nice.
Yes.
Wow,
Doug.
that is good.
Wow.
Good.
Okay,
That's
who was
impressive.
heavyweight champ?
Heavyweight champ is Joe Frazier.
You got it.
There was no hesitation on that one.
Okay. And what was the Ring Magazine Fight of the Year?
1970.
Oh,
Fight of
Doug
the
should
Year.
know this Ring Magazine trivia.
69.
These
69.
are two really famous fighters. Was a KO in 12. It was in Europe.
Yeah, so I'm going to say this is Carlos Monzon beating Nino Benvenuti, and he actually won the middleweight title from the Italian.
Okay, what was the...
and he would hold on to that title for a long time.
Okay.
As long as Gennady Golovkin held the middleweight title. Talking 7 years plus.
Right.
Which is very rare.
Actually, yeah, Gennady has a few
About
more.
7 years, right?
More than that, yeah.
Gennady, Monzon, and Marvin Hagler all held the title about the same time. Which is
Okay, now what,
so rare for
Remember, Gennady won back the IBF title the same year.
That's
okay, what was the Ring Magazine round of the year?
in 1970? How long was the round of the year, man? There were a lot of really good rounds.
15th round.
What round?
15th.
15th round?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Heavyweights.
Oh, I got it. Muhammad Ali
You got it.
stopping Oscar Bonavena
Really?
in the final
And he was
round of
losing
the
that
15
fight, I
rounder.
think,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Now, ask you this.
And by the way, Ali had a lot of trouble with Bonavena
Yeah.
because he was very awkward.
So how did Bonavena die?
At a brothel.
You got it.
That's a good way to go.
You know the story?
No.
Because
There's a
one of
book
the
about it,
One
though.
of the girls who worked there, Bonavena liked, and this other guy liked.
Oh, wow.
And
It's like Stanley Ketchel.
There was a love triangle.
Yeah, sure.
Sort of.
Boxers go. Hey,
So-
let me ask you a question. Who trained Oscar Bonavena to fight Muhammad Ali? Famous trainer, and he was a commentator.
Gil Clancy.
Very good. Gil
Who was it?
Clancy, first guess. Wow.
Gil Clancy.
Gil Clancy.
Yeah.
Really?
Gil had him in good shape.
You're a man.
Yeah. Oh, I love Gil Clancy.
He was legendary.
Yeah.
Okay,
I want
so
to shout out to Jimmy Glenn again and his family.
Yeah. Rest in peace,
Rest in
Jimmy.
peace.
I hear Adam, his son Adam, wants to keep the bar
Wants
open.
to keep the bar going. Yeah. I asked Steve actually, and he doesn't own the property, but apparently the landlords that do own the property like having Jimmy's Corner there and have very reasonable lease terms there. So that's nice to see that Jimmy's Corner will continue.
I say that ends.
Well, without Jimmy there, it's not the same, but certainly it has that mystique with all
The owner's gonna have a change of heart there.
all the memorabilia, all the photos on the wall. I mean, it's like a museum when you walk in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
who was the editor of Ring Magazine in 1970?
You know what? Believe it or not, it was still Nat Fleischer.
It was.
This is a
Nat Fleischer?
crazy statistic.
Wow.
And it's got to be a record of almost any magazine or publication. Nat Fleischer was editor-in-chief for 50 years.
Wow,
That means
That's
from
impressive.
1922 to 1972 when he died.
wow.
He held that position until he literally dropped dead.
How old was he when he passed away?
He was up there. But, I mean, think about this. I mean, the early 20s to the early 70s. I mean,
Yeah.
two different worlds.
Yeah.
This dude was
that's
a
like,
connector.
That's like
Yeah.
10 different worlds.
Exactly.
He went through the Great
I mean-
Depression. He went through World War
I mean,
II.
the early 20s was nothing like the early 40s. The early
Yeah.
40s, nothing like the early 60s.
Went through Prohibition. Yeah, all
Think
that.
about just how much American history he witnessed, through the prism of boxing.
I'd say Nate Fleischer goes even further back than Coach Dave.
I mean, I
Couple years.
can't think of any any editor-in-chief of like of a newspaper or a
Yeah.
magazine
Yeah, I agree.
to have a tenure that freaking long.
That's a great run.
And what would say if you had to think of the fight that made the biggest impression on you in 1970?
Well, I'm sorry, say that again.
What fight in 1970 made the biggest impression on you?
Fight that made a big impression on
It
me.
was important in every way. It was incredible. It was, it was a
1970?
third round stoppage for a cut eye. It was a huge
What weight class?
heavyweight.
Heavyweights.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali's comeback fight against Jerry Query.
Yeah. I mean, I remember
Jay
that.
Corey, right?
Yeah, he had
from
to win that
from
fight.
Bakersfield,
I mean,
right?
that was like the return of the king.
Right.
Yeah, but then his second fight, Bonavena, he had to win that one too.
Yeah.
And I saw both of those on a closed circuit.
Wow.
And the Bonavena, you thought it's all, forget it. He's losing the fight. And
Did Muhammad have Deer Lake at that time, or was he still training in Louisville?
I don't know.
It's a good question.
Okay,
That's a question for you.
Okay, what was Ali's fight before the Corey fight? His last fight before he got exiled.
Oh, that would be Zora Foley. That was at Madison Square Garden,
Yeah.
1967.
Yeah.
Probably like in the
Exactly.
summer, like
Yeah.
June or something like that.
Yeah.
It's
So
amazing.
that was incredible, Ali.
So think about that. The late that prime. He had just entered his prime, really. So that
Yeah.
late '67, all of 1968, all in 1969.
Right.
That's one of the big boxing what ifs. What
Yeah.
could have been
Sure.
Yeah.
had he remained heavyweight champ, and
So I
would
remember.
he have been beaten? Would anybody have challenged him?
Does-
I think it's just a theory, in my opinion. Joe Frazier still would have given him a hell of a fight had they faced off at, like, say, 1969.
A tough fight, but probably
Still
Ali
a lot.
would have been better
Oh, of
at
course,
that time,
of course, yeah.
than
More-
71. Yeah.
Yeah.
More
I
on top of his
remembered,
game, better
yeah.
legs.
Before he fought Corey, there was some rumblings going in LA that Ali was going to have a workout at the Forum. So just a word of mouth was just gonna. So I went, and the place was completely filled, and Ali did work out.
He did.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's when it was just coming out that maybe that thing's going to be reversed.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to fight.
Was that when Jack Kent Cook owned the farm?
He did,
Wow.
And the Lakers, right?
and he owned the Kings and the Lakers.
Mhm.
And
So we have the Santa Monica weather report here. You see the palm
See
trees.
how beautiful it is?
Kevin did a nice job with his landscaping back here. It's pretty serene. We got stuck in the corner of his backyard here, but we're just thankful that he's allowed us here. So,
okay, I just got a couple more questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so in 1970, I wanted to tell you who was the champ. Who's the light heavyweight champ?
In 1970, the light heavyweight champ was probably Bob Foster.
Right, you got it. And who was the welterweight champ?
In 1970,
You got it. You got it.
welterweight champ was,
Yeah.
if it wasn't Jose Napoles,
Yeah,
it was Curtis Coates.
Yeah.
So it was Napoles.
Right, both
Great.
both incredible.
Incredible fighters.
Yeah.
Both in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And had Jose Napoles, let's say, because Jose Napoles was really at his best as a lightweight. He was a lightweight, junior welterweight.
Yeah.
Let's say he never goes up to 147. I think Curtis Coates would have had this long, distinguished reign, and he would be considered an all-time great welterweight, not just a Hall of Famer.
Okay, so there were 3 lightweight champs then in the 70s.
Really? In 1973, different lightweight champs?
But I can't tell you if it was 3 different organizations.
Right.
I gotta say there were three champs, and you know them for sure.
Okay,
They're all
okay.
big names.
Okay. So, I'm going to say Carlos Ortiz. Okay. Ismael Laguna.
Yeah.
Ken Buchanan.
The other one was trained by Jackie McCoy.
Jackie McCoy.
Oh, Mondo Ramos.
There you go.
Wow, so
That's
there
Doug.
was-
That's Doug in action right there.
Yeah. Anyway, Dougie, we all want to wish you a happy 50th.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Happy birthday, Doug.
you.
Did you post a photo of the cake?
I did.
Nice.
I tweeted it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked
I
nice.
put it on Instagram.
Yep. And
For your birthday.
I don't know. I think I'm going to do like an Instagram live, but I might make it extra special and do the Instagram live through the Ring TV Instagram, because that's got almost 500,000 followers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
that'd be good. Are you gonna take questions?
Yeah, take questions.
That'd be
kinda
nice.
Give everyone
50th
an update on the magazine and what's going
50th
on.
birthday. Is it still available? Do you still have that promotion
Yeah,
for the
we still
30-day
do.
promotional
Yeah,
trial
we still do. Yeah.
online?
You sign up. You sign up now. For the digital edition. You get it free for 30 days. You can read right now the July issue that has that wonderful painting by Richard Sloan featuring Mike Tyson and Tyson Fury on it.
Richard Sloan's a
And
tremendous
you could read the
artist.
magazine, and you could read last month's magazine and back issues.
7
going
years
to,
back, right?
2013.
All right.
Yeah.
So So Larry clarified that Kevin Costner never won Best Actor, but he did win an Oscar for Director.
Yes. Right.
Movie.
Well, that was probably Dances with Wolves.
That could have been, yeah.
Dances
And
with Wolves cleaned up.
Larry thought his best movie was Bull Durham.
Bull Durham. Yeah, I agree with Larry.
And we got a cheers from Michigan from Tizzy the Greek. So
What's up, Tizzy?
You know, I went
People
to a
like
minor
your,
league baseball
knowledge.
game at that stadium in North Carolina, where where Bull Durham was made.
okay.
It was that's a big deal. Minor league baseball is huge back there.
Where was it?
And, that was in Durham.
Oh, Durham, North Carolina?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And
Someone says we shouldn't wear their masks. It's actually a rule out here in California, or I think it's in L.A. Whenever we go outside, you're supposed to.
They want you to have the mask on at all times.
All times
you
outside.
have to wear it when you go to the bathroom.
But see, when I'm in my car and I'm driving around, I don't have it. But then I'm driving around and I'm seeing other people driving with the mask on, and some of them look over at me weird, like.
When you're driving, I don't know. When you're inside your car, that's a little bit extreme.
Hey, dude. Windows are up.
So things are slowly starting to opening up here. You see people outside a little bit more. The beaches are open officially as of Wednesday. I think the national parks have opened. In Germany, just to give you an update on how it is in Germany. So they officially opened. So restaurants can't have people inside. They have to have socially distant rules.
Yeah.
The rule is with the masks, you have to wear a mask when you enter the restaurant. When you're seated, you don't need to wear the mask, obviously, because if you're eating or drinking,
Right.
the staff is supposed to wear the mask. But if you go to the restroom, this is going to Dave's question. If you use the restroom, then you're supposed to put the mask on using the restroom.
There you go.
So there you go.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
That's.
So hopefully things, but the barbershops aren't open yet out here. Gyms aren't open. Gold's Gym is
Ooh.
closed.
I was thinking about that for like my
For a while.
50th. I should cut my hair.
There you go.
I haven't had a haircut in like
Maybe let
I
Nina
don't know
cut your hair.
like 20 years.
Right, so let me ask you this. So you're 50 today, or 50 on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So how do you feel differently than when you were 30 or when you were 40? Physically, emotionally, intellectually, mentally?
He hasn't lost his memory, that's for sure.
I mean, can you tell a difference?
Yeah, I can. More energy, like 30s, 20s. I was indefatigable, right? I had boundless energy, and I was I was 100% ambition, but I was so much ambition, I wasn't present. So like everything I experienced, it's all a blur. When I think about memories from the 90s, right? Like my last years at college and my first work experiences and, getting my first apartment and all that kind of stuff, getting married, even getting married, like that was 1997. That whole decade was all about getting a foothold into the career that I wanted. And at some point in the mid-90s, I decided it was this. I was going to go all in.
Was that House of Boxing?
Yeah, it was House of Boxing. We started that in the same year I got married, 97.
97, okay.
And in 97, I quit my job. And I had it was a cushy job. It paid well. Had all the benefits, had profit sharing, had a 401k.
Was that when you were a professor? A lot of people don't realize you were a professor at Santa
Before
Monica
this,
College.
For 3 years, I was an editor at a trade publication called the National Notary Association.
Oh, okay.
In Canoga Park, and then later the company moved to Chatsworth. And it was the most boring writing I've ever done, the most boring editing I've ever done. I had my own office. The way it was very structured, and so like every 3 months you would go up, or every 3 to 6 months you'd go up for like a review, and they'd give you a raise if they thought you were doing well, and I always got a raise. You know what I mean? And if the company did well, and it was a company where people were members, like if you were a notary, you were a member of this association, and you paid your dues, and the more members they got, like this company shared it with the employees. So we had that. We had the profit sharing. You had a 401k. You had all the health benefits. Of course, when you're in your 20s, especially guys, you don't give a shit about any of that. It's boring. I don't care to see the doctor or get my eyes checked or any of that.
Yeah.
stuff I would be into now. But I was all about, like, I couldn't wait to get out of there and go to the gym and work out. And all my frustrations of the day, I would go and I would hit a bag, hit a mitts. Actually not mitts, I would hit this big pillow thing because my trainer was a former fighter and his legs weren't quite there to do mitts. I was Kevin Morgan.
Oh, Kevin Morgan, sure. I remember Kevin Morgan, of course.
Kevin was big on sparring.
Yeah.
So I got in there and I banged heads with guys, you know what I mean? Like crazy people and all. But I loved it because I'm young, you know what I'm saying? But all of that's like a blur. Like, even up through my wedding and all that and teaching at Santa Monica College, like I quit. I just decided I'm going to quit and I'm going to do like freelance boxing writing. We're going to start up this website, this friend of mine, Gary Randall and I.
Yeah.
And to make ends meet, that's why I was teaching journalism at the city colleges.
Got it.
And it all moved so fast, it's like I wasn't really present for it. And the 2000s was much the same, but the 2000s I settled down more because I'm not just married, but I have kids, so I become a father in my 30s. So that changes things.
Big responsibility.
That slows you down.
Yep.
And it's not all about you. It's not all about me anymore. I got to provide for a family, and I can't be as risky business-wise or with my career as I was. I do have to make money. And so by the end of the 2000s, I had to make a difficult decision to leave Max Boxing, which was like a small business, and it was an education unto itself, and go to the ring because of the salary. It was just a higher salary, and it was also, it opened other doors such as like commentating gigs and a chance to be an editor with the magazine. You know,
the legendary magazine.
Right,
yeah.
so that's real special. So, you know, and so 40s is kind of like more being just a professional and trying to, you know, do my job while juggling family responsibility. And as I enter my 50s, I'm kind of thinking more entrepreneurial again. You know, you once told me, like, when you were in your 50s, you were absolutely fearless in terms of business. Like going out there and making the right deals and all, making the right moves.
Dave had 700 affiliates worldwide when he was in his 50s.
So that's inspirational for me. So as I go into my 50s, I'm thinking, okay, it's great being affiliated with the Ring magazine, but how can I keep it alive? But not just keep it alive, but make it thrive and spread the brand for a new generation. And there's ways to do that, and I'm working on that right now. I can't say it yet, but like I'm working on certain deals that will bring the Ring magazine brand to a completely new demographic, a younger demographic, internationally, worldwide, and it will present the Ring as like the championship standard in boxing, and it'll engage people, you know, and that's just one thing, but there's also, you know, stuff like this. Right. You know, I want to bring this back and,
that's nice.
And do it in many different ways, and celebrating the 100-year centennial mark, which will hit in February 2022.
2022?
So I had these goals and all, you know, and I don't quite have that manic energy of a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old, you know, but I have experience though.
Which decade?
Kind of like how a fighter, when they're young, they're throwing a million punches around, and they get older and get a little more settled, and it's throwing the right punches.
You duck a little bit more.
Yeah, right. Protect yourself. You're more of it's like Bernard Hopkins going from the executioner to a ring general.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You got to figure out ways of making your experience work for you as your athleticism, your athletic prime dwindles. You know.
Which decade were you the best for pull-ups?
For pull-ups, you know what? About like just
after you met Dave.
Honestly, it was after Dave, and it was like maybe we're talking about 5 or 6 years ago.
So in your 40s.
But it took me a while. I was in my 40s, and I got pretty good at it. Yeah, I was in really good. Dave got me back to really good shape. I was in amazing shape, training with Kevin Morgan at LA Boxing Club in the mid to late 90s, and that was like I was running. I used to run every day, and Kevin was all about volume, so I was hitting the bag, and I was even sparring. Probably shouldn't have. I didn't really want to, but I never want to disappoint my coach.
Sure.
So if the coach says you're going to spar this dude who's happens to be a pro boxer,
Yeah.
I wouldn't wuss out. I would do it, you know. So I was in really good boxing shape in my late 20s, and I kind of got away from that, you know, and I had some health issues or whatever in the early 2000s, of thyroid and stuff like that. But I thought I was in decent shape, and Coach invited me to run with them at Drake Stadium.
UCLA.
Yeah, and we did wind sprints kind of like on an incline along Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
And I almost had a heart attack. I don't know if you could tell, but I couldn't tell Dave that we're just sprinting up.
Right.
Sprinting up and down this path about like a little over 100 meters. And I was so tired and so out of breath, I couldn't even catch my breath. And we did maybe we did half of the steps of Drake Stadium, and I was sore for a week and a half. Like just from doing those sprints and whatever. But you know, from having like a kind of like I did track and cross country in high school, and so
sure.
I understood that when you haven't run in a long time, you haven't done that, your body, you're going to really feel it, but you can get past it. You go back, you do it again, it gets easier, you know. And so after, it took a while to where I could run and do the whole thing that Coach does without being completely out of breath and totally sore for like days afterwards.
So that was in the 40s. So
then we did the pull-ups. We would before we went to Drake Stadium, we went to Stoner Park.
Yeah.
And started out with pull-ups, and then we did pull-ups also at Drake Stadium. So we were doing pull-ups
full circuit.
a couple hundred.
Yeah, over 100. Yeah, by the end of the day. And nobody believed it. We tell them that. They'd be like, we tell these the personal trainers and the track gurus, you know, and they'd be like, you guys work out for about 3 hours on Sunday. Like, holy shit.
But we had a little bit of drive in between.
Sure, yeah.
But Drake Stadium is at UCLA. It's the track stadium.
It's a tremendous stadium.
And they have really good stairs there.
And Jackie Robinson's numbers on Drake Stadium.
What's his number?
Oh, it's posted there on the Drake 42.
Number 42.
Yep.
There's also Jackie Robinson baseball field.
There you go.
Also, so UCLA is a nice track. It really is.
So back to current time. So we had the third UFC fight this week. That was last night. Alistair Overeem won.
I remember him.
It was a very actually emotional fight. I remember seeing the build up to that, where and I forgot. Apologize, forgot his name. But anyway, the guy Overeem was fighting had lost his stepdaughter last year. She got kidnapped, and then they found her body and everything. So it was a very emotional thing. And
Where is this guy from?
I you know what? That's a good question. Yeah. But Walt Harris, I think that was his name. Christofty, he helped me out. Yeah, Walt Harris. So anyway, so Overeem won. But the thing is that so that was the third UFC fight in a week.
Now this wasn't like a big pay-per-view. This wasn't UFC 250.
It wasn't pay-per-view. The very first fight was pay-per-view, and these were both on ESPN. The last two were on ESPN.
So okay.
Sure, the ratings were high on that. It was the first.
I would imagine. Overeem's a name. If I know who he is, then he's been around for a long time, and he's accomplished, obviously.
It was the first combat sports, but actually the first professional sports that we've had back now. But the German Bundesliga played yesterday. The soccer, NASCAR is back today.
Yeah. Here
in the U.S., so we see things starting to slowly open up with social distancing, safety precautions. The combat sports, MMA and boxing, are a little bit higher risk just because of the close proximity of everybody, you know, whether it's the two combatants in the ring or the cage and the referee and the officials.
Yeah, the Lakers are starting to work out.
Lakers, the NBA is coming, and I think MLB is doing their workouts. Baseball's doing... So things are slowly starting to open up. It's going to be a while, I think. I listened to the California Commission meeting. They had a Zoom call, and it's going to be a while before there's going to be live audiences. But I think, for the athletes to be able to compete in whatever sport. Golf courses actually did open up last week also here in L.A.
The beaches opened up.
Beaches opened up, yeah.
But
So
one thing you still really have to be careful. You want to stay away from people. You can't get too cocky now. You got to really keep your distance.
And wash your hands, and just to be cognizant.
Surfaces.
Yep.
When you go shopping, and you get stuff, you get a bleach wipe and wipe it
Yeah,
down.
you got even that.
It's been touched by how many people? You don't know.
Number
you
of
guys
people.
wear gloves when you get gasoline?
I do.
No.
I wear one
I
glove.
didn't even think about
I'm like
it.
Michael
I put on
Jackson. I
gloves
wear
and
I wear
throw
one
the
glove.
gloves out.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do that. I wear one glove and then I throw it away. Yeah, like Coach said.
I'm so glad you guys brought that up. I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah, 'cause the number of people that touch the
gel
handle.
in my
Yeah.
car, and I just go crazy.
Well, if you do it right away, that gel it should be okay. But the gloves.
No, I do have we have those surgical rubber gloves. We should just keep a box in the car. I haven't even thought about that.
We'll have to
So,
have.
Let me ask you. So
Okay.
it looks like we've heard Bob Arum talk about staging boxing cards sometime in June.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to
In
go
Las
the
Vegas.
first week of June. Yeah, up
First
in,
week?
in Las Vegas. Well, the first week or two. I don't know if they have an exact date. I heard June 9th or
We've
June
heard-
6th.
We've heard Golden Boy Promotions talk about a July 4th.
4th of July
card,
weekend or
Fantasy
July
Springs.
9th. Yep, up on Fantasy Springs. That looks like Golden Boy show. Eddie Hearn is building a big boxing compound
Right.
at his office, the Matchroom headquarters in Essex, London. So I think that's a genius idea. Similar to what Dana has done with the Apex, that the cage up there next to the UFC offices in Las Vegas. So Eddie's going to build this compound. It's going to be covered. It's going to be outdoors. It's going to be covered, and then he can hold shows regularly every other day or 3 times a week. It's all controlled. Sky would be the host broadcaster out there, and so he'll be able
Smart. And
to
ambitious.
get fights in that way. Yeah,
Yeah, but the bottom line is you got to be careful.
you got to be very
Can't
careful.
Get carried away. You got to really, on a conscious level, be careful. And so I think we should wrap it up. But I just want to say one thing, Dougie, that impresses me about you the most: that you could keep the mailbag going twice a week with this amount of time, and that takes a lot of effort and knowledge, and you have to have a lot of discipline. I don't know how you. I mean, that is really an incredible thing.
It's almost 20 years old.
The mailbag?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So anyway, Doug,
Should
I
probably
got-
retire it when he
Nice.
gets 20.
we're really honored.
Yeah,
to be
50
your
years,
friend,
Doug.
Really.
Thank you.
I mean, to see how you've evolved and where you're going to go.
And the commentating. You did the Hollywood Fight Nights, and you've done a lot of big shows in the
Remember when
commentating.
you first started?
Oh, yeah.
And-
I didn't think I would be doing that, like with the next round with Steve
Right.
Kim from Max Boxing.
Yeah.
It was Steve Kim and Gary Randall's idea, and they had always talked about it, and I was never involved in any of that.
Yeah. Till they
And
put a
I thought,
microphone in
yeah,
your face.
I thought it would be Steve and Gary, and then they're like, Gary's like, no, it's going to be you and Steve. I'm not getting in front of the camera, and I'm like, I'm not comfortable in front of the camera. Yeah, well, I was stiff. If you look at some of those old
But
shows,
now,
the
I
first
mean,
ones,
it's like you're incredible.
and me and Steve, we look like we just got out of high school.
That's good
Pretty
footage.
funny.
That's valuable footage to keep there.
Yeah.
So we'll sign off. So happy
We wanna
birthday.
wish you have a great birthday.
Thank you.
And the next 10 years are going to be like incredible, like it's been. I mean, really, you're an inspiration, Doug. Really.
Absolutely. And a wealth of boxing knowledge. So we'll sign off from there. I got I'm wearing the Madison Square Garden shirt. They did a video. I got my thanking all the essential
Yeah,
workers.
you were part of that.
I took part of that. Oh, the Blue Angels flew by. What day? That was a Thursday, I think. No, Friday.
Yeah,
Friday they flew by. They were in honor of the essential workers. So we want to thank all the essential workers. When people take it for granted that they can go to the neighborhood market and there'll be food on the shelves. I mean, it takes a lot of people to actually get it there.
Yeah.
Or the post office, the banks, gas stations, like you said. All the delivery people, the people at Amazon, and all the delivery people, FedEx. A lot of people are ordering online now. A lot of people are reading magazine online.
And a lot of people are walking, doing exercise every day
Yeah.
that haven't for years.
That haven't for a long time. Doug, you look slim. You look like you're staying in shape.
Yeah.
I've lost about 12. I've lost about 12 pounds over the last 6 weeks. So
Yeah, I can see your arms too. You're doing your
I
push-ups.
don't know about working out. Yeah, push-ups, but
You're doing your push-ups.
not the gym. But definitely my weight has stayed low. So okay, we're gonna sign off.
See ya.
Okay, Dave. Drive safe, even though there's not so much traffic. It's it's
Still
increasing,
Like you just won the lottery.
but still drive very carefully. Keep your eye on the road. No texting, right, Dave?
0.
let someone who
Just
wants
be
to
calm,
wants to
be
get in the lane in front of
happy.
you, let them in.
Work out every day. Watch what you eat. Have all good, positive thoughts.
Get some fresh air.
And it's all good.
Be
It's all
safe.
good.
And we'll get through this together. Okay.
Love it.
Happy
Love
birthday,
it.
Doug. We'll see you
Thanks,
later.
everybody.